everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Needlecrafter. My name is Laura. Welcome back returning subscribers and welcome new viewers. This is my little corner where I love to sit down and discuss all things knit and crochet. So, how is everyone doing this week? I hope you're all having a wonderful week and hope you're staying warm. Some of you are getting extreme winter weather and some of you are getting spring-like weather. Normally here for northern Illinois, we should have about a foot of snow on the ground with cold temperatures. But today it's going to hit a high of near 40 degrees. And by the end of the week, it's going to be close to 50 degrees. We have no snow on the ground. Haven't had really any snow this year. I feel bad for some of you that live in the southern states, and I have friends that live, some of them live in Ohio, some in Michigan, some in Wisconsin, and massive amounts of snow. So I feel for you all that are going through that and just probably by now getting sick of the snow and the cold weather. Here is quite different. So with that being said, hope you're all enjoying this time of year. If not, hang in there because spring is just around the corner, as they say. All right. I've been quite busy. I did not do a knit and crochet podcast last week. Last week I filmed a tutorial. Just a short tutorial for how to do a stretchy bind off, which is for this, I've done it for this sweater here. But if you're curious about that, it's just a twisty bind off where you just twist the stitch and it makes this really beautiful edge. And it's very super stretchy and bounces right back into shape. I love that. So, I've done that, and I also filmed an episode of my journey. So, this week we're back to the knit and crochet. So, first up, two finished objects. I have two finished objects, and I am wearing them both. The first one I'm going to take off and show you. It's my beautiful scarf here that could be also worn as a shawl. I finished this just the other day. When I blocked it, I really stretched it out right in here, and I think I'm going to go wet it again and reblock that because I really stretched that spine and I think I stretched it a little bit too far, but that's okay. And I'm showing you the wrong side, my apologies. I knitted this up using 3 strands of yarn. One was from Woolly Yarn. It was a alpaca silk wool with sequins. I'm not sure if you can see the sequins. I'm going to try to move it around that you can see, but they are in there. They are in there, the little sequins. I used a strand of that with a strand of merino wool that had some alpaca in it, and that was a very fine lace. And then I used a strand of just a sock weight or lace weight wool, and it made this beautiful fabric. And I do have an end here. You can see how I took the 3 strands and knitted them together. I really enjoy and I love doing that. I really do. It makes the most unique fabric. So no mohair in this one, although it's nice and fuzzy, and it's very light and very drapey. It turned out great. And I frogged that other piece that you saw on my last knit and crochet episode. I just kept frogging that out, and then I knitted the rest until I was out of that darker brown and thought, well, that's good enough. I still have some of the sequin yarn and a lot of the camel colored mohair. wool and mohair. Merino wool and mohair. No, merino wool and alpaca, I am sorry. I do enjoy getting my yarns on cones because they seem to last a long time. Usually when I'll order something from a cone, I'll make sure it's something I'm really going to like. I'm really going to enjoy the color. Everything else. I've got a cone that's got cotton silk, and I made a shawl with that with a strand of mohair, and that turned out really beautiful. I love that too. But this is my new one. It's nice and light. Now, at first, I was thinking, because I knitted this up on a U.S. size 11 needle, and I just thought, oh, that's going to be too big of a needle. But no, it gave it a very nice drape. And I'm going to stand up. Yes, you can also see my second finished object. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you can also wear this. Let's see. You can also wear it. You can also wear it as just a regular shawl. And it's really nice. So I really enjoy this. I really do. Okay, now for the next one, I'm going to back this up a little bit so you can see the sweater a little bit better. There we are. My next finished object is my Advent sweater. This is my Christmas Advent sweater. And see that stretchy bind off? I'm able to get stretch in there. The only thing, and I love this sweater, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful, it's light, I love the stripes. I got every single color in it except for 2 colors. I could not get the last 2 colors in the sweater because my sleeves would have been, and when I do that, stretch it out, it's past my fingers already. And so that would have made it just too long. It would have been way down to here. I didn't want that, so I left off the last 2 colors, and they did not get knitted in. But I love this. I love the feel. First time I've ever made a sweater with sock yarn, and the brown is Drops Nord. There's only one thing I do not like, and right in here. It is clingy in the bust, and I don't like that. Now, I still have some ends to weave in. And I have not blocked this, so I'm hoping maybe, you know, when I block it, I will stretch out right in here. Because it's just, it's too form-fitting in the bust, and I don't care for that. It would be better, I think, if it was just looser. I like a sweater that's loose, a little bit loose in there. But it turned out great. I enjoy it. It's not too hot. It's not itchy. So yeah, I don't have any complaints other than I wish I would have went extra stitches in the bust area. And I will talk a little about that. Get my setup back here. There we are. This is a self-drafted pattern, and I just use the regular lace raglan. As you can see, going down here. That's this very simple and basic, easy raglan to do. It's just a simple yarn over, knit one, yarn over, and you're doing that every other round. With this one, I think I went every third round. Once every third round, I would do the increase because it was smaller yarn, smaller needle, smaller stitches. I used a US size 7 for the, no, US size 5, get it right, for the collar, and then I went to a US 7 and finished it that way, and then the same with the sleeves. It's just a 1x1 rib. But this was my Christmas Advent sweater, and it's done, and I'm able to wear it in still wintertime. Even though we're getting spring-like temperatures now, I'm thinking it's either going to do one or two things. It's going to, after this, snow, or it's going to go into a faux spring, which is kind of what it feels like now. It kind of feels like a faux spring, and I'm antsy to get out and do things. So yeah, all right. So those are what I have finished this week. Love this, love this. I'm so glad I finished this and didn't just leave it sit around. I'm always loving to make, I just love to make shawls and scarves and things like that. That's my favorite thing to knit and crochet. Okay, I have some whips over here. I'm thinking, do I start with the crochet or do I start with the knit? I've only got one thing that I'm knitting right now, and I will get back to it. I haven't made any progress on it since I talked to you last. It's just a cabled sweater. That's the back. Here is the front. Haven't made any progress on it, but I'm going to get back to it. I've got enough yarn. I should have enough of this yarn to finish this. If my son does not like it, the color and the feel, I'm going to keep going and make it my size. Otherwise, it will be his size. He's a little bit, he's tall and slender. He's a little smaller than I am, so I'll be working on that. What size needle is this? This is an 8, a US 8. I started out on the US 6 up here. Then I was going on the US 7, and now that the yoke is starting to increase, I wanted to go to a US size 8. So if you can see, there's the cables. It's very pretty. Just a simple, it's a self-drafted pattern. Again, self-drafted pattern. Do I ever make anything from somebody's pattern? Yes, once in a while. Usually crochet things, though. Yarn. Yarn is Yarnsmith's Create Double Knit. This, I think, is still on sale. I think. And what was the price? I'll put a screenshot right here. That's what the price is now. So last I was over there, it was on sale. And I have some yarn coming from them, so it'll be exciting when that comes. And I've got my eye on this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn from Woolly Yarn. It's like a warm grayish taupe with little bits of rust and deeper grays with silvery sequins. Oh, I could visualize knitting with that held double with a strand of gray mohair. That would be so beautiful. And I've got this cardigan in mind I saw in a book. Let me get the book. This is kind of an acquisition, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but it's okay. But anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about this here. So I'm going to finish that, but I want to show you this cardigan I got my eyes on. Oh, okay, I'm back. I had to run and get the, magazine. This is from last year's copy of the spring edition of the Knitter. I'm not sure if they even still have this in print, but on page 71 is the Alessia cardigan. And I don't like the colors. The colors are, that's not my colors, but I'm thinking that would be so warm, lovely, and light with that gray yarn. And I'm going to insert a photo here of that yarn. And you can see just how beautiful it is. Yep. That's that different tones of gray. And I'm not a big fan of gray yarn, but that was, to me, looked like a warm gray. And then when they put in the little bits of the rusty brown in there with the sequins, I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And I think it would go with a lot of different things. It would make a nice, timely, elegant, and classical piece. So there, sorry for the glare, there that is, and the pattern is in this book. So I'm going to do the pattern. It should be easy because I don't have to follow the color work charts. Yeah, some more photos of it there. And it gives the diagram here for the measurements and everything. So, and it looks to be, the arms looks a little bit like oversized. So yeah, they do look a little extra long in the arms. So I may decide to shorten them just slightly. And it's saying here, it gives it in centimeters, but 49.5 centimeters for the arm. That's the largest size. And the smallest size is 46.5 centimeters. That's quite a long sleeve. So anyway, I'm thinking about that. That's on my wish list. The yarn is not cheap. I think that yarn was somewhere around, I want to say $15 to $17 for 100 grams. So, and 100 grams were 400 and some yards. So it's, to me, that's going to be a sock weight yarn. So that's what you got to do when you head over there to that place. They're not going to tell you like the little numbers, like a number 2 or number 4 worsted. No, you're going to have to go by yardage to grams, like we normally have to do with other expensive bougie yarns. All right. The next item is crocheted. Now I'm going to start with the crochet. I'm pulling it up here so I don't catch my stitches. Oh, and I'm tangled. This is with mohair and, okay, hold on. I gotta pull my yarns up here. This is with Willow Stream discontinued yarn, but any lace weight merino wool and silk blend will do. Holding it with a strand of silk mohair. And I had different colors of mohair in my stash, but not enough mohair to make any one thing. So I put it together and made a stripey thing. And there it is. Isn't this pretty? It's so soft and light. If you can see the mohair sticking out there. I love shawls. They're my favorite thing. And this one, and I've got a huge tangle. Oh, look at this. I have it in here with everything in there all together, and I've got another project in there that I need to show you, and oh my goodness gracious. It's all tangled. But anyway, this is just those 2 yarns held double, and it's a V-stitch, which is very easy to do if you're a beginner. For spring. Ooh. I'm not putting it on properly. This is one of those that's going to be longer in the back than it is in the shoulders. But with these, I can wear them as scarves. Yeah, that's quite, I'll stand up so you can see, that's quite down there already. It's going longer than wider for this pattern. I'm not sure why that is. But you can see it's going Sometimes shawls just do that. I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes they just do. I made one. Well, it's probably the stitch. It's probably the V-stitch that's causing that. But when I block it, you know, and stretch it, it'll be wider here. I'm just going to keep going till I'm out of yarn. I've got that purple mohair here, and then I had a very pale pink that's in it, and then I have this here. This is a mohair hand dye, so I'm not even going to attempt to detangle that right now. But there we are. There that is. So pretty and light. The purple, you get the pink, you've got the variegated shades. Love shawls, love anything mohair. Mohair is so, silk mohair is so incredibly soft and light. And it's getting quite expensive. If I ever see any on sale and I have the money and can afford it, ouch, I will buy in bulk. Just stock up on it. Because I do love using that. All right. And crochet hook was a 6mm crochet hook. So as you can see, it's all very light. It'd be pretty as a scarf too. I mean, it doesn't have to be worn as a shawl. I wear my shawls several ways. I'll wear it like the traditional way, like I showed you. I'll do this. And with this one, you can see the ends are not going to be as long as here. So that's going to be, here's another way I wear. I put it on like so. And with an open pattern, you can take one end and kind of tuck it through one of the holes. I showed my friend how to do this at church. I gave her a shawl for her birthday. And you could kind of wear it on the side like that and style it that way. That's lovely. Or you can just do it out in front. However way you want to wear it. So you can wear it like this too, just around your neck. They're very versatile. Very, very versatile. Okay. It's one of my hairs. All right, I'm going to try to pull out the project I have in here. Now, this pattern is out there on the internet, and my brain has to catch up with my mouth. Hold on. Do you have that problem too? Okay, this is by MJ's Off the Hook Designs, and it is the, I don't want to misquote, but I think it was the Sea Breeze cardigan. I just have a start on that. This is the back. And it goes straight up, and then you go out for the arms like a big, and then you do two fronts. So it's going to be all in one piece. And I have done cardigans like that before, and they're so super easy to crochet. And yarn for this, yarn for this. Well, I'm holding 2 strands double here, and I've got it wound up in a big ball because I had to frog it back out because it was way too big for me. Oh, the thing was massive. It was way out to here, and I thought, that's way too big. I'm forgetting I'm getting smaller. I'm not as big as I once was, but I'm making the medium size. And the yarn, a friend of mine gave this to me at church. And it's wanting to come apart. And I have more over here. It is Red Heart Soft Baby yarn. And this is very soft yarn, by the way. It's a classic one. This is an older one. This looks like it come from the 1990s or early 2000s, I want to say. So somewhat vintage. I love vintage yarns. Look at the little ducks on there. It's so cute. Red Heart Soft in white. And I'm looking for a date on here. I don't see a date, but that's okay. And I'm just holding that double with Willow Stream again. Willow Stream. I have back when a Willow Stream was selling out, I bought probably 40 balls of that. I kid you not, because it was like $1 a ball. They marked it way down. I think Hirschner's had it about 4 years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but they had Willow Stream marked down to 98 cents a ball. And I went over there and just went crazy. I bought all different colors, about 6 or 8 of each color. And this is just a taupe. When that runs out, I have more in taupe, and then I have some in a little bit darker brown. So it's going to make a little bit kind of stripy, kind of interesting as I go along. But that's my progress on it. Not much progress, because I had to frog it back. I'll be getting back to this now, because I have to have something crocheted or I'll go crazy. If all my projects are knit projects, I get bored. Yeah, honestly. If all my projects are crochet projects, I have to have something knitting going. That's just how I roll. I love to do both, and I'm always wanting to do both things, you know, here and there. All right, but I may be finishing this first because it's almost done. Now, 2 more crochet things I got going on. And this one, you saw a sneak peek of it last time. And I was using my Advent yarn, and this is a granny stripe shawl, a very long shawl, where the ends are getting longer as we go along. I'm just using up each ball of yarn as I get to it. And I've got the rest in here. So whenever it's finished, it'll be finished. I've got all kinds of fun colors in there to do. There's a lot of this one. A lot of this one, because these were the sleeve colors. So that's slow going. It's nowhere near a shawl yet. To be a shawl, it needs to be about 6 inches wider going down lengthwise than this. I don't care if I lose a couple stitches. I'm going to put it on anyway. Great, great. Sporty. I think this would go absolutely great with a jean jacket. Yep, I have a jean jacket in my closet. I think that would look great with that. Very classical. And then I have a jean skirt. I have a denim skirt and a denim jacket. So, yep, that's my progress on that. And it's just a granny stitch. You start at here. The starting point was down at the bottom there, you see. And you're just increasing every row as you go. And you're doing the granny stitch. And it's easy. And crochet hook, I used a 5mm crochet hook for that. All right. Last thing, we're on the last thing. I can never get this in 30 minutes, I tell you. I try. I hope you love hanging out with me. That was my crochet hook. A 6mm. That's what I'm using for the mohair shawl, and I'm using it for this next. This next thing is crazy. It's a crazy crochet thing. I got the idea from this online, and I had so much scraps I wanted to use up. I'm tired of them little scraps laying around. I want to put them little itty bitty scraps to use. I got little bitty balls of scraps. You know what I'm talking about. A little stuff like what's in here. A little stuff like, you know, this, a little bit. What are you going to do with that? And this. And you know how this stuff accumulates? Okay, it accumulates. And it sits. And you're like, oh, what am I going to do with that? Well, I'm making myself I call it bits and bobs. Little bits and bobs sweater. Look at this thing. Isn't it crazy? I've got a sleeve done already. This is so easy to make. Let me know if you'd like a tutorial for it, because it's so easy to do. I started up here at the collar and just made a raglan and going down and then round and round in the body. I'm working on the second sleeve over here, just using up those odds and ends or bits and bobs. I think Kelly from Craft in a Cup she has an odds and ends sweater. I think hers is done with I don't think she used double crochet. I'm not sure, but she has one very close to it. So I'm not sure if I want to do a tutorial. I don't want to copy anybody, you know. But I just done this in my own pattern. I made the single crochet in the back loop of each, going around to make the collar using bits of yarn. And then I done a fun bell sleeve. A bell sleeve with a scallop edge. So I thought that was a lot of fun to do, and I'm almost done with that, and I'm crocheting that along on my 6mm here, my classic J hook. It doesn't even have the millimeter size. Oh, I gotta see, that looks... Made in, looks like it says Germany. That can't be right. Yeah, I think it does. I can't make that out. I'm gonna check this out. I'm curious about that. But it looks like it says, no. Could be, oh, it's so tiny. Looks like it says Germany or Denmark, or I do not know. Very old. I've had this a very long time, ever since I can remember and started crocheting. It was one of my mother's old hooks. Yeah, there's nothing like those old tried and true crochet hooks. You know, I have a whole brand new set. Nice crochet pouch, nice ergonomic hooks. I bought those fancy F.O.s hooks, a couple of those. I bought a rainbow sparkly one. You know what? I don't use them. They just sit. I'm thinking about maybe just selling them off. I don't use them because I just always like to use these old classic hooks that I've had since I was a kid. So, yeah, since I was a kid. I could crochet. I knew how to crochet at the age of 13 years old. My mother taught me to crochet. My sister, my sister that's closest to my age, she sat down and says, come on, we're going to keep doing this. She was my encourager. My mom was my teacher and my sister was my encourager. And we used to crochet the towel toppers to sell. We used to crochet Afghans. She taught me how to do granny squares. A lot of fun. And by the way, that sister, because I am the baby of my family. My sister that's the closest to my age, she is 20 years older than I am. Yes, that's right. And I have 2 more sisters that are older than that. And my oldest sister is still alive. So that's wonderful. Yes, and that's why I think I'm such a fast crocheter than a knitter. Although my knitting skills are catching up with my crochet because I've been doing it now. I've been knitting, we're in 2026. I've been knitting since 2012. So, and I taught myself how to knit. Now, my sister that's a little older than the sister closest to me, she passed away when she was not very old. So, but she was like me. She was a knitter and a crocheter, as well as my mother. My mother was a knitter and crocheter too. So I'm like them, and my sister closest to my age and my oldest sister, they are strictly crocheters. So that's the gist of my family. I don't have any brothers. I have 3 sons, and that's wonderful. All right, well, I've talked your ear off long enough, and I'm so thankful for you for staying around to the end. It really helps my watch hours. I'm trying to build up more watch hours. So more watch hours means more pay. So if you could do me a favor, please give this one a like if you liked it. And I thank you for sticking around to the end. And all of you take care and have a wonderful week. And I will see you again next week for another Crochet and Knit podcast. Bye, friends.